We've learned major changes are being made at DCYF as the result of an investigation into the death of a young special needs girl in Warwick. Police say 9-year-old Zanae Rothgeb died in a bathtub back in January. Police say her sibling, who also has special needs, was caring for her at the time. Michelle Rothgeb, who adopted them along with 4 other children, is charged with cruelty or neglect of a child. Kate Walsh is live in Providence with the findings from DCYF's investigation into this tragedy and what's being done moving forward. Kate?
Well, Shannon, the director of DCYF said these failures are a result of both systemic and personnel issues, and that taking disciplinary actions alone are not enough to make real long-term changes for the future of the department. The Department of Children, Youth and Families is making major changes following the death of 9-year-old Zanae Rothgeb of Warwick. DCYF had allowed her adopted mother, Michelle Rothgeb, to foster and adopt 6 children over the course of a decade. That mother is now charged with cruelty or neglect of a child.
Through the course of our investigation, what we discovered was a series of lapses in policy and in judgment that failed to detect significant changes in the ability of this mother to care for her children.
DCYF Director Trista Piccola announced the results of a 3-month investigation into the girl's death,
which has determined that the child's death was caused by complications of cerebral palsy, including her seizures, and as a result of neglect. While not representative of DCYF, this case demonstrated that our safety net is not catching every single child, and that's unacceptable.
As a result, there have been personnel changes, including 5 employees disciplined, 3 employees no longer working for the department, and another 5 having to improve their performance. More training has been mandated for all employees assessing a family's ability to care for a child. The focus now is on revamping 3 critical areas of the department: licensing, placement, and investigations. New at 6 o'clock tonight, I'll explain in detail the changes that have already been implemented by the department and why the director says these are not just knee-jerk reactions to this most recent tragedy. Live in Providence, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, DCYF says it's making big changes following the death of a special needs girl in foster care.
This case demonstrated that our safety net is not catching every single child, and that's unacceptable.
However, DCYF director says these changes aren't just a reaction to the tragedy in Warwick. Eyewitness News reporter Kate Walsh joins us live from the Providence Mobile Newsroom with the new details. Kate?
Well, DCYF announced today that the medical examiner determined that the death of a 9-year-old girl in Warwick was complications from cerebral palsy, seizures, and was a result of neglect. So now the department is making major changes to prevent this from ever happening again. Systemic changes to the Department of Children, Youth and Families won't bring back 9-year-old Zanae Rothgeb of Warwick.
There was a lapse in our policies, a lapse in judgment.
But it could help save and better the lives of other adopted and foster children in Rhode Island. Rothgeb was one of 6 children adopted by Michelle Rothgeb of Warwick. 3 of those children were siblings. DCYF Director Trista Piccola said personnel changes have been made, including 3 employees no longer working there. And new systemic changes mandate no more than 5 children will be placed in a home without the director's approval. Unrelated children will not be placed in the same foster homes without approval. And an administrator has to approve all adoptive home study reports before going to family court. Piccola said these are not just knee-jerk reactions to the tragedy, but have been in the works since she took the job in 2017.
We, like many systems, have been suffering from a shortage of foster families. So it's almost as though you have to solve problems A and B before you can solve problem C. We didn't move fast enough to be able to catch and reach this family. This family had been in the making over a decade before we were able to get that specific reform completely through the pipeline.
And in terms of a lack of foster families here in Rhode Island, Piccola said in the past year they've seen a 25% increase in the number of foster families available. Live in Providence tonight, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.